everybody, and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet YouTube channel. In this crochet tutorial I will be showing you how to crochet this absolutely beautiful moss stitch ripple or moss stitch chevron. It's a beautiful one for scarves, but also obviously it's amazing for really dense and thick blankets, baby blankets, especially because there's no holes, and also much larger blankets as well. So I'm using Paintbox Aran, and I will leave the colours in the description box. I'm also using a half size up, so it's recommended a 5mm, but I'm using a 5.5 just so that I get a little bit of flexibility with the crochet. So it's a 1 row repeat, so once you've got that first couple of rows up you will be well into the swing of things, and as you all know, moss stitch is one of my favourites. So to bring you a lovely rainbow moss stitch ripple is really nice. So at this point, if you are not a subscriber to the channel, please make sure that you click on that subscribe button and also on the little bell icon to receive notifications when I upload a new video. So as I say, it's a 1 row repeat. I will show you how to get these absolutely beautiful poker straight edges as well. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one, so let's just jump straight into the tutorial. So we're going to start with our slip knot on our hook. Now this seems like a funny foundation chain size, but you want to do your foundation chain in multiples of 19. So you'll chain the width that you want your project to be, just make sure it is a multiple of 19, and then you want to add an additional 18 chains onto the end. So first of all, do your multiple of 19 and then add your 18 extra. So you're going to put it as 1, 2, 3. So if you just complete your multiples of 19 and then add an additional 18. Okay, so I've completed my multiple of 19 plus the additional 18. We're then going to start working back along. And for the entirety of the project we're going to be using chains and UK double crochet. So in the US, please remember these are your single crochet, but because I use UK terminology, whenever you hear me say double, just think single if that's what you're used to. So into this second chain back from your hook, you will insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Chain 1, skip the next chain, and then double crochet in the next. So that chain 1 and double crochet counts as 1 repeat. So we want to do that 3 times. So we've done it once and we want to do it 2 more times. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. 1 more time, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. So you have now got 1, 2, 3 double crochets and 3 chain 1s, and then your double crochet where we started. We now want to create the first peak, so we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and then into the next chain you will do double crochet, chain 2, which will create your peak, and then back in the same chain another double crochet. So now we want to work down towards our dip, so we will do chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet, and we will do that 4 times to match what we've got here, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 1, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. That's 2, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. That's 3, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. That's 4. To create our dip we're going to skip 2 chains, so skip 1 and 2, and you're not going to do any chains at this point. You will have worked your double crochet, you'll skip 2, and then into the third you will start straight away with your next double crochet, and then we're going to be working back up to our peak. So again we'll be doing the double crochet and the chain 1, and we want to skip the next chain and work your double, and this time we're working back up to our peak. So chain 1, skip 1 and double again, Again, we want 4 on the way up, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, and then we want to create our new peak, so skip 1 and then double, chain 2 and double back in that same chain, chain 1, and then we're going to work back down to our dip. So on the way up you'll have 4 double crochet and then double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, 4 double crochet with chain 1s working down to your dip. So I will do my 4 double crochet chain 1s now. So I've done my first chain 1 and then double, chain 1, skip 1, double, chain 1, skip 1, double, and one more time, chain 1, skip 1 and double. So again, now we're going to create a dip, so we will skip 2 chains, we won't chain anything in between, we will just skip 2, and then in the third we will go straight into our double crochet and work back up to a peak. So if you just repeat that all the way along until you get towards the end. So I'm getting towards the end, I've done my final peak, and then I will work my 4 double crochet chain 1s on the way down. It's 1, 2, 3, and then my final double crochet will be in that final stitch. And you can see there we have already got this beautiful ripple or chevron starting to show. Now this is a 1 row repeat, so I will show you the next row, but then you will be able to repeat that over and over again. But at the end of the next row I will show you how to change colours so that you get a good idea on how to do that as well. So we want to turn our work, and then I'm going to insert my hook straight into this very first stitch. So straight into that first stitch, I'm getting the whole of the stitch, I'm going to yarn over and pull up, and I'm going to stop there because we actually want to double crochet 2 stitches together. So we've done the first one, and then into this chain 1 space you'll insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, and you'll now have 3 loops on your hook. You'll then yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. I will absolutely recommend popping a stitch marker into this stitch so that you can keep your edges nice and straight, because whenever you work a ripple or a chevron, at first it can look like your work is a little bit skew with, but if you're using a stitch marker in that first stitch every single time, you will keep your edges perfectly straight. So after that first double crocheting 2 together, you are ready to start your normal moss stitch. So a normal moss stitch is always chaining 1 to skip over the double crochet from the row before, and then working your new double crochet into each chain 1 space. So you'll chain 1, skip that next double crochet, and then double crochet into that chain 1 space. And you'll do that up to your peak. So again, chain 1, skip the double crochet, and then double crochet in the chain 1 space. And then once you get to the double crochets that form your peak, you'll have a double crochet, a chain 2 and a double crochet all in the same stitch. So you'll chain 1, skip that first double crochet of the peak, and then into that chain 2 space you will work a new peak. So you will do double, chain 2, double, all in that chain 2 space. So into your chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, back in the same chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 1 to skip your next double crochet, and then work your double crochet, chain 1 4 times down to your dip. That's 2, 3, and 4. So you can see we're now at our dip, and that will be easy to see because you'll have these skipped stitches. So you can see we've got 2 double crochets here right next to each other with those skipped stitches underneath. So you're going to skip over the top of these 2 double crochets and you're going to go straight into your next chain 1 space. So you'll skip the 2 stitches and then double straight into that next space, chain 1 and work back up to your peak. So you should be able to complete that now. So you'll have 4 doubles and chain 1s working up, and then you'll have your peak, which will be your double, chain 2 and double, chain 1, and then you'll have your double and chain 1, and you'll have 4 of those on the way down to your dip. And then again, no chain 1 when it comes to creating your next dip. You will simply skip the 2 doubles that are next to each other and go straight into that next chain 1 space. So if you repeat that now, pause, rewind if you need to, and then I will meet you as you get towards the end of your row. Okay, so I've completed my last peak and I'm ready to start working down. However, this time we only want to do 3, work into 3 of these chain 1 spaces instead of 4. So you'll do your peak and then you'll work your 3 double crochets into those next 3 chain 1 spaces separated with your chain 1s. So double, chain 1, double, chain 1 and double. So I've done my 3 now. I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to skip this final double, and then we've got the chain 1 and the double crochet that we did at the start of our very first foundation row. So you'll insert your hook into that chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, and we're going to double crochet 2 together, just like we did at the beginning of the row. And then insert your hook into that final double crochet, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through all 3. So that is your second row. So if you were carrying on with the same colour, you will repeat that row exactly as we have just done. You will turn and you will insert your hook straight into that first stitch, yarn over and pull up, and then straight into the chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3, and again mark that stitch. However, I'm going to just change colours here. So you can change colour in any way that you like. However, I will just do my preferred method. So let me just redo that stitch, my double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to stop at the point where I've got 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to bring in my new colour, and I'm just going to pop that loop on my hook and pull it through those last 3 loops. And then going to chain 1, and you can snip off if you want to. If you're only doing 2 rows of each colours, you could technically carry your yarn up the sides. But I'm just going to snip off and tie my ends together. As I say, you can change your yarn in any way you prefer. So I've got my new colour, and you will then turn as normal, go straight through this first stitch and double crochet 2 together. So yarn over and pull up, and then into that next chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3 and mark your stitch, and then you're ready to repeat that last row. So I'll just do this the final time with you. So chain 1, skip 1, and you'll work that up to your peak. I always find the peaks are really easy to keep track of. The bit that you can sometimes get muddled with is potentially the dips, when you don't skip the 2 double crochets or you end up chaining in between them or something. So I've got my 4 double crochets now and I'm at my peak. So in my chain 2 I will create my new peak. So my double, chain 2 and double, all in that chain 1, and then I'm ready to work back down to my dip. So I'll have my 4 double crochets separated by chain 1s. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now remember, do not chain anything to get across this space for your dip. You will skip 1, 2 double crochets and then go straight into your next chain 1 space with the first of your 4 double crochet. So then chain 1 and work them back up to your peak. And if you just continue that, and I will meet you one final time at the other end. Okay, so I've worked my final peak and then I've done my 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Remember, we don't do 4 normally on this one. I've done my final chain 1. I'm going to skip that double and I'm going to insert my hook into that last chain 1 space, yarn over and pull up. And then again, if you've marked your stitch, it will be nice and easy to see that final double crochet. Yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops. Okay, so there we go. We are really starting to get that beautiful defined ripple now. So you can repeat that as many times as you want until your project is the size that you want it to be. But that is it for the tutorial. You can just rewind to that very last row that I showed you and complete that until your project is as long as you need it to be. But I really do hope that you have enjoyed this one. Please remember to like, subscribe and share with anybody that might like it. But I will see you again for another tutorial really soon. But thanks as always for watching and bye for now.